All right, can we move forward? So for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to spend talking about Indigenous education and the role that we as educators play in reconciliation. And this is my job in St. James Assiniboia School Division, but it's also my passion for those who know me. Before I get started, I want to acknowledge that we are in fact on Treaty 1 territory and also on the homelands of the Métis Nation, who are my people. All right, is it going to go? There we go. My friend Dr. Nguyen Sinclair talks about a concept called Anawenduin, which is an Anishinaabe word, but it's really an Indigenous concept that we are all connected, and that there's a constant system of relationships being created and reinvented. Oops, sorry. And a student's sense of self kind of comes from a teacher. And what was I going to say about that? Sorry. And what we teach and what we choose not to teach affects our kids. I remember when I was a kid, in grade 5, I was taught that First Nations people don't exist anymore. And I remember being confused because I have a lot of cousins on Evanflow Reserve and I wondered what they had to say about that comment. But that stuck with me 25 years later. And then I remember being in grade 11 Canadian history class and going an entire school year without hearing anything about Louis Riel or the Métis Nation. And when I questioned my teacher at the end of the school year, he told me it was because Louis Riel was a traitor and he didn't matter and the Métis weren't important to Canadian history. Yeah, nice. Canada does have a dirty past that we do need to come to terms with, and I think that it needs to be done in the classroom. And when you Google reconciliation, I'm going to read the definitions here for a second. It's the restoration of friendly relations and the action of making one view or belief compatible with another. And whether your family's been here for generations or you're brand new to Canada yesterday, this is a history that we've all inherited. And this is something, whether directly or indirectly, it affects us all. A decade ago, teachers thought if they weren't good at technology, they could just leave it out. But we all know now that that excuse does not fly anymore. And to me, that same excuse should be not accepted in terms of Indigenous education. It's obviously really important for all Canadians to understand this history, but I really believe that the real seeds of reconciliation are going to be sown in our classrooms. And the kids are going to be the ones that provide positive change. They're going to be laying the groundwork. So what does reconciliation look like in our classrooms? One of my oldest students. It starts with Indigenous students that feel like they belong. They feel safe. They want to be at school. And they see the value of getting a good education. And it looks like, thanks Andy, it looks like families that feel connected and welcome in their school community, and that they actually trust us with their kids, which for generations has not happened. It looks like educators who get it. There you go, Rex, that's where you went there. They know the history, they've got the tools, and they see the importance of putting Indigenous perspectives into everything that they do. And it also looks like non-Indigenous students that understand and respect and value Indigenous people and their contributions that they've made to this country. And this is the future of our country at stake. I don't know if you heard the report last week, but by 2036, 1 in 5 Manitobans is going to be Indigenous. And by 2017, they estimate that 30% of our grade 1s in Manitoba are going to be Indigenous. So this is our future workforce that we have to deal with, and we have to make things better for, and we need them to be happy and healthy and successful. And lots of people are starting to ask me, what can you do to contribute to reconciliation? It's simple. Have an open mind, have an open heart, realize that you don't even know what you don't know yet, and ask yourself to start off with these 3 questions. Do you know the real history of our province and country? Do you know the Indigenous people who live and continue to live here? And what treaties allowed you to buy or rent the property that you live on today, and that our schools sit on as well? Education has, for generations, been used as a tool of oppression for Indigenous people, and I really think that this is our time now to get us going in the right direction. And my dream for reconciliation would be to put my feet up on a desk in a classroom once more, because that would ultimately mean, even though I really love my job, that I'm not needed in this role anymore, and all the teachers know what they need to do, and all the kids are getting their needs met in our classroom. So 19 slides ago I asked you if we could move forward, and now I ask you this one: can we afford not to?